Let's go here. You can see the closed front grille here with an optional micro star pattern. Very beautiful design indeed. This is the AMG line. That means sporty accentuations in the side lower part. We're soon also comparing the electric art line. This color is also very special. It's called Alpine Grey. It's a special AMG color actually for the AMG line here. And we also have a beautiful shooting location here on the Portuguese coastal line. 4.86 meters or 191 inches is the length of the EQE SUV. So the smaller brother to the EQS SUV. This is more than in the competition, for example, with the BMW iX. Wheels from 19 to 22 inch. These here are the 21 inch wheels. At the side you can open this one here for the wiper fluid, for example, but you cannot open the hood. There's an optional HEPA filter underneath when you order that one. This one here visually comes with this side step here, this really cool design element and also aerodynamic performance. And then here we more have a coupe line, I would say, and with a very strong shoulder area. Another technology highlight leads us to the rear axle, because the rear axle steering, that's an option, can turn the rear wheels in the opposite direction than the front wheels up to 10 degrees. That massively reduces the turning circle by up to 2 meters, easier U-turns and so on. And design-wise here in the rear you can see this light strip going across, and on the sides you have this 4-element spiral, whereas the EQS SUV would have this 5-element spiral. Very interesting. In lower part, AMG line. Are these even pretending to be fake exhaust? What do you think? And battery size, by the way, it's always around 90 kilowatt hours. You might see in the price list there are some versions with 89 and others with 91. They don't differ that much. It's just from a different supplier, but the charging times are also pretty much similar. It's always around 30 minutes from 10 to 80% state of charge if you have the biggest power boost, which is at 170 kilowatt peak. Turning indicators, replace the daytime running light in the front. And the rear turning indicators, at first sight it doesn't look that spectacular, but when you look closer it uses these vertical structures, and that looks quite cool then. Also features a very cool welcoming light signature. Look at that when I open the vehicle, how the light builds up. There we go, pretty spectacular. By the way, not to be recommended, but yeah, sometimes I just can't help myself and also do fun things with vehicles which are not useful. Yeah, not releasing the parking brake and then slightly applying the throttle. Again, don't do it, but it looks weird, right? And here we can very well see with the two Alpine Grey AMG color cars, here the side steps, we have it on our main vehicle, and here's the same color, but without that side step. It really looks different, but which one would you prefer? Moving towards the interior, this is the key fob, really premium-like, like that. Then here the door handles, flush, integrated, and then you can open them like this. They are an option in the EQE SUV, and I think it's a little bit over-engineered. Then door closing sound, it's really solid. Inside of the doors, this material is called Neotex. It's a new material. Neoprene-alike, it's a mix of microfiber and leatherette. Feels cool, looks cool, really nice. Then here at the inside of the doors you also see this nice integration of the ambient lighting also here around, just a high gloss piano lacquer here, and the lacking haptic feedback of the seat controls, what I would criticize. This is the AMG line interior, soon going to compare the electric art interior. Seating position, I'm really happy with that actually. Good comfort here on these comfort seats, and even more than in the electric R with the full Artico interior. This is also better than in the sedans, because here you sit a little bit more upright. And with 189 or 6'2", you also have enough headroom. This is also the version here with the panoramic roof, by the way. And it leaves a lot of light in, really cool. You can also open it, that's also cool. And although you have the shorter wheelbase than the EQE sedan, you have a lot of legroom here. It's no problem at all. Headroom also works for tall Ls, so 5 tall Ls is fine. Just that the middle seat is a little bit hard at the back part. The outer seats are definitely way more comfortable. And in the lower part we also have a separate climate unit here, but it's this one button design again, and below that 2 USB-C chargers. And here we can fold down the cup holders. This is like a smartphone holder, and then like this you can release the cup holders. Interior cockpit overview. This is here the optional hyperscreen, like one glass unit, 17.7 in the middle, 12.3 inch on the sides each. This is the passenger screen, which now is featuring this personalization with your favorite image, or maybe also of your dog, your cat, or your wife, or your husband. So which one would you actually put there at the passenger screen? Here the digital instruments, nice visualization. You can also pick the style, sport your way or understated, or then the map full screen. And wow, this is cool with the satellite view, definitely. But my favorite is off-road. That, yeah, just looks coolest, doesn't it? And the head-up display is really large, and you can also have some GPS visualizations in there. Some love it, some think it's too much. The ambient lighting, I found it pretty cool, actually. You have this color transitions, if you like. You can also change the whole color, and either in a multi-color way or maybe also just a single color, so you can really pick that. And what's also quite cool is that when you use the AC unit, you can see warmer or colder as an additional visualization. What are you actually doing? Apple CarPlay or Android Auto integration is really massive indeed, and also works quite quickly. Wireless or wired, both is possible. Burmester sound system or Burmester is really, wow, good sound, and they concentrate on having the original source basically transported to the sound system as accurately as possible. That's their goal. Then you can also see the satellite view in full glory. Wow, look at this. That looks really, really cool, right? The passenger screen is only active when there's someone on the seat with a seat sensor, and then you basically have the mirroring of everything else, but you can also have video streaming while driving. That's the difference, and the driver then cannot see it. Beautiful matte wood decor. Really cool. And then inductive charging pad, two USB-C chargers, but also here the adaptive cup holders. But when you have like heavier glass bottles or something, small ones, they don't hold them that tight. Then let's make it clean closed again. Here there's a unit for the driving mode selection, for example, and start-stop of the vehicle. Then you have the split armrest with more space underneath. Not to forget this huge space here underneath the middle console with more charging possibilities. Let's also take a look at the electric art interior we have here, starting at the inside of the doors with, with these nice new materials, that is neoprene finish, and listen to that. Also, when you touch it, how it sounds, really cool indeed. This is also the base steering wheel. That one looks better in the AMG trim, I think, because again in AMG you have the two-spoke design. Here there's one-spoke design. But this interior is also without any animal materials, and the steering wheel feels good. And also here with the seats, this is very astonishing. This here actually looks better and feels softer. And look at this different cockpit. This does not feature the optional hyperscreen. Then you have this vertical layout like we know from the C-Class or the S-Class and so on. And you have here space for decor element, and you can pick different stylings. This is a very interesting 3D structure underneath here. So I found actually more beautiful without the hyperscreen. And also here the digital instruments are not integrated. They're more upright, and they give you actually better visibility, because when it's leaned backwards, then the sun can also get to that a little bit better. Here, this way, better view. So this solution here saves money, and to me it is also better as for the user interface. What do you think? We flipped the logo here to open the trunk or the boot. 520 liters up to 1,675, and then here there says no rails at the side, but it's actually good in the build quality. And then underneath here we also have a lot of space for charging cables. Welcome to Thomas's Driving Lounge. We start with the sport mode. Acceleration slightly uphill, but does it have really enough power? Let's go! Plop, that's 90 kilometers an hour. Woo! That went really quick. I mean, the official figure was 5 seconds, like what, 4.9. Whew, more punch from the rear, from the strong electric motor. Wow, I was really pushed into the seat. That was a lot of fun, really cool. And we first check out the agile driving characteristic here, because the EQE is shorter than the EQS SUV. And so also gives us more driving fun. It feels definitely more agile. This here even has a shorter wheelbase than the EQE sedan. Very interesting concept indeed. However, due to the low center of gravity in these electric vehicles, the batteries are placed in the middle bottom part. The difference between driving a sedan and an SUV body type is slimmer here with the electric vehicles than it is with combustion engine models. We have no shaking up effect or something. In the sports mode here, this optional air suspension is set on the stiffer note, so there's no rolling or something. Really cool. The rear axle steering at higher speed gives us rather more stability because then it turns into the same direction in the front wheels. At lower speed, soon going to show that as well, it helps with turning circle and also easing the car in and out in the city and parking lots and so on. And yeah, this is a lot of fun indeed. Pretty cool. When you have the optional rear axle steering in the highest build, up to 10 degrees, the rear axle goes in the opposite direction in the front wheels, and situations like these, it feels like you would be turning on standstill, you know, like wow, that's really amazing. And I mean, it's not a small vehicle at all, but this option actually reduces the turning circle by 2 meters. So this has essentially a turning circle of a small vehicle. And motorway 80 to 120. Plop, that's it. Was even a little bit more, so that was slightly down about. The power is definitely there. And here, Portuguese motorway, 120 kilometers an hour is maximum this part here. And super silent here, although it's quite windy outside. Close to the sea, it's quite normal, but the noise insulation from the windows and so on is really very good. We have the optional air suspension in this very vehicle, and it really gives us good floating comfort. With the 21-inch wheels, of course, when you have some fierce bumps in the road, then you do feel them. If you would go for smaller wheels, you could even that out better. But I like that the air suspension is not too hard, actually, and you can also adjust a little bit by the driving mode. Here in the S Sports mode, it's a little bit stiffer. Here in the Comfort mode, then you have more floating effect, and that really gives you good comfort, definitely, while driving. Ideal temperature conditions today here for running battery electric vehicles, and then we could score some consumption figures of 20 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. That's some 3 miles per kilowatt hour, meaning a real road range of 450 kilometers or 280 miles. If you want to compare the competitors like the BMW iX or the bigger brother, the EQE